What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're so glad you're joining us today on the Unfiltered podcast right here at Roots Church. I've got the whole gang in studio today. What's everybody doing?
Oh, you know, talking during the intro music like I wasn't supposed to.
Frustrating our executive producer.
That
yeah,
doesn't
nothing
surprise
much.
me.
It is
We
his
got
wife.
Becca in the
It's fine.
house. We got Eric's in the house. We got Austin in the house. We even
Hey.
got Kinsey behind the knobs over there.
Producing.
She's spinning records. I don't. Why is that so funny?
She's going
I
to
don't
rip
know.
Austin's head off.
She's giving Austin the evil eye. Well, listen, we got a show today, and I'm actually going to take the name from Brian Nieves. He used to actually call his Friday Free Fall Friday, which means he could just talk about anything he wanted. So guess what? We're going to do the same today. Today only, Free Fall Friday. Whee! Crank that up a minute, Eric. I like that version. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Shout
here's
out to the Almost.
Yeah, here's what's funny. Eric was playing this song, which is a different version. I said, "Who sings this?" He said, "The Almost Band." And I said, "That's interesting." They almost made it?
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, he used to be a Christian, so maybe he was just almost Christian,
He was almost Christian.
and now he's almost famous."
Yeah.
Almost.
He is for Eric. Eric
He
went and saw
is.
him in concert.
Where did you guys? Where'd you go see him at?
At Red Flag downtown.
Red
Oh,
Flag.
the other night.
Yeah.
Oh, is that down there by the fountain at Locust?
Yeah, Locust, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I've never been there. Is it a pretty cool spot?
It's a sweet place.
Huh.
I mean, it's an interesting venue for sure.
It
Like
looks
the
like it.
area, but like the inside they have shipping containers all on the inside, so like the merch tent is like a shipping container.
Mm.
The bar is a shipping container, and then they have a second level that's all shipping containers that you can like pay special
Wow.
seats for, that you can sit up there and
They're like suites.
yeah, like little suites.
That's cool.
It's actually pretty cool.
I need to go to that venue, but most of the bands they have there are like screamo bands. That
Well,
I've
listen, okay, these guys were there.
seen. I know,
You'd
but
like them.
yeah, for sure. I like that song. Well, today I just got a couple subjects I'm going to bring up. We can talk about. We don't have to like spend forever on them. And then if you guys have something that you want to talk about, we can do that. But the first one I want to talk about is an article that came out that I read a week ago about the Boy Scouts of America rebranding to Scouting America so everyone feels welcomed. Let me read a little bit of this article. I don't know, it just hacks me off. I'm not a big Boy Scout fan either, but either way. But I thought they did some good things. You know, Boy Scouts, I feel like they did some good things. If you were an Eagle Scout, you were a somebody back in the day. But for some reason, they've decided to include girls into Boy Scouts. So therefore, they had to change the name to Scouting America. Here's what it says. The National Scouting Organization underwent a major change in 2018 when it started allowing girls to the Cub Scouts, which actually is for children ages 7 to 10. The following year, the Boy Scouts program for older kids ages 11 to 17 began admitting young women. The new name will reflect these changes as the group, which formerly switched to Scouts BSA, will now brand as Scouting America, effective February 8th, 2025. That is the 115th anniversary of the organization. Here's what it says. While this may be a surprise to some of you, for us, this is a straightforward evolution and the next natural step to ensuring all American youth feel welcomed and recognized in an organization that is meant to serve all Americans. That's what this person crone, I don't know what he is or she is, but I'll just tell you, crap! It's crap! Are you serious? This is like giving every kid a trophy in America. Give me a break. It's Boy Scouts for a reason, people. It was for boys and boys only. There's this thing called Girl Scouts. Hello. Is it really that hard to figure out? Boys aren't allowed in Girl Scouts. Girls aren't allowed in Boy Scouts. There's two different organizations for two different people, but yet we got to include everybody to make everybody inclusive. It's crap.
You sound like Ron Swanson.
I was literally pulling that up on my computer. I was pulling it up.
We got Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson.
This is a Parks and Rec episode.
it
The
is.
Pawnee
I
Rangers
swear.
and the Pawnee Goddesses.
What is wrong with people? What is wrong with this world? What is wrong with people? I'm so sick and tired of inclusion. Tired of diversity. I'm tired of everything. Listen, black people are black. White people are white. Asian are Asian. Do we need to keep going?
No, I think we're good.
We have girl sports. We have boys sports. We have the WNBA and we have the NBA. Why is it that we got to make everybody feel good about themselves? Listen, when you suck, you suck. You don't need a trophy. You don't need to be on a team. You suck. Go find something else to do.
Yeah.
I'm fired up today.
I
Free
feel like
fall.
last time I was on the show, I missed last week, but last time I was on, Pastor and I got into a little disagreement.
Don't tell me you disagree with me right here.
I almost do.
Oh my gosh, this will be the last time
No.
Becca's on my show.
I don't disagree. I just want to say that as a Girl Scout I was like 7 to 10.
Were you a brownie?
Yeah, I was. I had like a little sash, but the activities for girls were lame. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to go on camping trips, and that wasn't in the curriculum. So like, I was
Well,
so
then
jealous
They
of
need
my
to change
brother.
the curriculum and
Yeah.
listen to the
But that's what I was
kids.
gonna say. Is it's a curriculum conversation. It shouldn't be like, oh, everybody's got to be in the same. They should have just made the girls a little bit better.
I agree.
Yeah,
Needlework
but they
was
taught the
lame.
girls how to sew and how to cook.
Yeah, but I wanted to do outside stuff.
Okay. Well,
And we didn't have like any outside stuff in my my troop.
like, what did you want to do outside? You want to mow
I-
the yard, weed eat? What?
I
you
hate
want to
doing
build a
those
fire? I
things.
mean,
yeah,
that's,
Camping.
I would love to know how to build a fire. If the world goes to crap, I got to rely on Jacob for that.
that's what you're supposed to
I
rely
would like
on
to
your
build my
husband
own
for.
fire.
You're supposed to rely on your husband, which leads me into the next conversation
Oh,
that
yeah.
Harrison Butker.
Oh, God.
Harrison really got himself into it.
No,
That
he
poor-
didn't. I like what he said.
He
I,
did. 'Cause
I
everyone's
like what the
mad
guy
at him.
said.
Lord.
Let me tell you something. I really didn't. I'm not a big fan of the Chiefs. As a matter of fact, I can't stand the Chiefs. But right now,
Yeah.
I am a Harrison Butker fan.
Was he the commencement guy?
Yes.
Oh boy, yeah, I heard about this last night.
And I really like that he was talking about how women should be homemakers.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I don't have anything against a woman having a career. There's no doubt about that. For you out there saying right now that I'm against it, I'm not. But I do think that the family is much better off if you are able for the husband to work the full-time job, take care of his family, and the wife to stay home and take care of their kids so you don't have someone else raising your kids. And in today's society, you don't even want the public school teaching your kids because they're a bunch of morons too with all their inclusion crap they're bringing into the school.
Yeah,
So it'd be better for the wife to stay home and take care of all that. That's her job.
yeah.
And I only agree with that because that's what my wife and I did.
I mean, I definitely agree that is an option, and I think that is originally the structure of the dynamic there. I think it comes down to more of the question of, because his specific language was what did he say specifically? Like the best thing that you'll ever do.
Well, how I
Yeah.
took it is like what he said was, women, you have had the most diabolical lies told to you.
Yeah.
And basically how I took it as a female was that he was trying to bring respect to homemakers
Yep.
and honor women who are in the home and say like, hey, society told you that you had to go out and be this like super big go-getter corporate businesswoman. And what he's saying is he's validating, honoring, and respecting women in the home and saying that that's how God intended women to be. So that if that's where you are, there's honor in that. And the world is going to make you feel like you're a bum because you're at home, but you're not. That's
Yeah.
how I took his speech.
Yeah, but read the room.
Let me
you're
read
talking
it.
to people
I
that
know.
just spent probably $40,000 on an
Yes.
education. Those aren't the people that needed to hear that.
I
mean, it's
agree.
He
like,
said, I think it's you, the women, who have had the most diabolic lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I don't see anything wrong with that.
no.
I agree though. In a room where you just paid thousands of dollars for an education,
It's
I
like,
think
ha-ha.
he had a really good intention, but he kind of missed the mark.
You mean
because-
in a room where people wasted?
Well, I mean,
$40,000 in education.
They didn't waste it if they're going to end up in law school and end up being a lawyer for the
Right,
next
but about
30
80%
years.
of people don't.
Okay, but we don't know
And,
that.
and this is
We're
coming.
making
Whoa, 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 whoa!
numbers.
This is whoa, 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 whoa! Listen to that. I got the mic. Look at me. I got the mic. This is coming from somebody that went to college and wants Biden to pay off her student loans, and is not even doing what she went to school for because she's working in a church, which I am very glad for.
well, but your education, it did get you to where you are today.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a complete. What did you go to school for?
I went to school for marketing and finance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say that helps in this role. I think it comes down to this. I think the way I took that speech was he was saying that the highest purpose
Yes.
that women will ever, their highest calling that they will ever achieve will be to be a homemaker, to
Yeah.
be a caretaker for their kids and their homes. I agree with that.
And their husbands.
It doesn't mean, though, that their purpose in life, that doesn't mean that that's their sole purpose.
Yeah.
It means that it's their highest purpose, their
Yes.
highest calling.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean you can't be in the workplace. And it's the same thing for men. I think we've had such an overemphasis on men. Their highest purpose is to go get this big job, or they're the provider. Well, that's because that's the way God set it up.
Yeah.
Because Adam didn't lead his wife very well in the beginning. And so he said, here, the curse for you women is going to be that you'll have very painful childbirth. And the
Yeah.
curse for you men, you're going to toil and work the rest of your life. And so I feel like, but it doesn't take away the man's highest purpose. The man's highest purpose is to be a good husband and a good father.
Mm-hmm.
But the men, we've been lied to that it's all about the work.
Yep.
And I think you have to have balance. I think you have to have both.
I don't
Just my
think
opinion.
I don't think he was literally saying that women couldn't work.
No, I don't think
No.
so either.
I think he was
He's
just
been
saying.
misquoted for sure.
I think the high, like Austin's saying, the highest level that a woman I think can experience is being a homemaker,
Yeah.
which is taking care of her husband, taking care of the house, and taking care of her kids is the highest level, and that is exactly what God created for women to do: is
Yeah.
to be homemakers, to take care of the family. But again, we're in a new society, new level, which new devil, and that is workforce can be the idol for a lot of people. A lot of women have been lied to and told that they are not worth something unless they have success in their life.
That
They
I
look at
agree
the
with.
homemaker as not successful.
Yeah.
And that is what he's trying to say. Eric's been wanting to say something. I can feel it. I can
What?
feel the aura.
I could feel you.
I think that there is, and I'm experiencing this in my own life. There is no way to rationalize godly values with people that don't have God. That
Yeah.
they will not rationalize that. We can all say, yeah, that's the way, but statistically, that room is probably going to be vast majority of people that don't know Jesus.
Well, they're Catholic school though.
Yeah, they they know Jesus.
I know, but I mean,
He
I
said-
have
said
Catholic
what I
friends
said.
that Joe Biden's Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I have
true.
Catholic friends that kill babies. Like,
Yeah.
but the Catholic
I
Church
forgot
did.
it was a Catholic school.
The Catholic Church did and has always made the order of God, his family values have always been the thing. Even though they may not believe in Jesus as the Son of God, they believe he was the son of Mary, but he was not God, which I do agree with that. But their values, and they're starting to lose their values. I mean, just look what the Pope has done now with the abortion. And not only with abortion, now they're actually allowing, if I remember right, what I heard was they're allowing priests to be married now,
Yes.
Yep.
and nuns, which is totally against their religious beliefs.
Yeah.
Which I think is I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
can't
think it's
speak-
dumb that you can't get married. But I
Yeah.
mean, again, their values, their religion. I'm not going to
Their
necessarily
con-
go
I just
against
think
their religion.
I just think right now in society we obviously have, and people are going to say right wing, left wing, whatever.
right.
But Christian, non-Christian, we're trying to be like, how do you not understand this?
Mm-hmm.
When that person will never understand that because
Sure.
they do not have the same
Same.
faith that we have.
I do agree.
And so, yes, that's a great thing to say, and it's very true, and I believe it as well. But in a conference full of Christians, at a marriage conference that we hold at Roots Church, everybody's gonna be like, "Yeah, I agree."
Mm-hmm.
In a room like that, they're gonna be like, "Well, f you,"
Yeah.
and when he's not saying that at all.
No.
And so
Well, and as a person who did go to school, and I will admit, I spent a lot of money on an education that I am not really using. Now, has it equipped me in some ways? For sure. But at the end of the day, I 100% relate to this because this is how I was living my life. I was the youngest person at an investment firm. I was getting all my certifications to be the youngest stockbroker, and I was doing this and making power moves and thinking like, I'm going to climb this corporate ladder as fast as I can because that's going to be where I prove myself. And it wasn't until like my walk with God got further along and I realized I was chasing all the things the world told me to chase, which is exactly what Harrison Butker is saying is like, you've been lied to. And like, I fell into and lived that lie until I was 23 years old probably. And then I started realizing I like quit my job at that super stressful firm. I moved back to union, back to like a slower pace of life, still was in a corporate structure and thought like, okay, this is like the medium, right? Like this is the in-between between what God tells, like what godly values are, what the world tells me. And then even there, I realized as I started climbing the corporate ladder there, that I still wasn't fulfilled because I wasn't looking to how God created me and like what God's calling or purpose in my life was. And I wondered why I was always at odds. And so it wasn't until I came to that realization and then decided like, I'm not defined by my degree or by my certifications or by being the vice president of marketing and Series 7 licensed and all those things. Like none of those things defined me. And it wasn't until I realized who God created me to be that I'm like happy within myself. And I think he was trying to say that.
Yeah.
I think coming from a dude, that's probably really difficult to hear for anybody, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it took me a second to read it.
Well, the truth is hard to hear for a lot of people these days. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth.
I would say most do not want to hear the truth.
And, of course, the NFL comes out, the Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Jonathan Bean.
Oh,
what a name.
Lord.
Jonathan Bean. What a beanhead.
Okay.
Well, here's what he said, The Athletic.
DEI at its finest.
That Butker gave the speech in his personal capacity, which is very true. I was happy to hear that this is his opinion and he's allowed to speak his opinion because we do live in a country with freedom of speech. But they did go on to say his views are not those of the NFL as an organization, and the NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes the league stronger.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Bean said.
But it's like that's not
what he was saying. He's been so misrepresented. It's terrible.
Well,
that's our world,
though, and it's media.
We said the same thing. It is our world. That is our world. Everybody likes to be misquote you to make you sound worse than what you really were. Yeah. I don't think I'm misquoting the Boy Scouts of America people.
No, I don't think we're misquoting.
No, but I'm just saying the curriculum should have been better when we were kids. And the girls wouldn't have wanted to join the Boy Scouts if we would have had more fun things to do than stitching pillows.
All right, Leslie, nope. Chill.
But
we did get to do Girl Scout cookie sampling.
Think of how many women out there do not know how to sew and do not know how to cook.
I have forgotten the
ability. They don't even know how to clean.
There's
there's people out there that can't even clean. They don't know how to clean properly.
Yeah,
you want to know why?
Gross.
Because they want to go start fires.
Because they went to Boy Scouts? That is not why.
They want to be boys instead of girls.
That's a parenting problem.
No, it's because their mom didn't
That
teach
is a parenting problem.
I mean, listen, let's go back several hundred years
dad.
ago. Let's go back to the Laura Ingalls days.
Laura Ingalls Wilder?
Yes.
I love her.
Who's that?
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh.
I mean, come on. That was
Lop?
That was kind of the American family back in the day. The husband went out and worked. The wife stayed home. And she cleaned and she cooked and she took care of the kids. They went to school at the church. They learned church at church. They learned school at church. They learned politics at church. That's the way it used to be.
And they came home and learned life skills.
Yeah, but
and
they
now
were also
we trust
churning
the
butter.
school.
You know?
What's wrong with churning
What was
butter?
that? Can you do that again?
No, I can't. I'm glad I was off camera.
God, do not churn butter ever again in this podcast.
That's how they do it. But I mean, okay, so here's the part of me that it's like, yes, that's the way things used to be. I love that. I think that's amazing. But it's like,
it's a simple life.
But we don't live a simple life. Like we don't.
We could,
but we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now.
Important values.
Here's the American dream now.
You don't use it.
The husband has a full-time career. The wife has a full-time career.
You want to know why?
The kids are in every sport known to man, and they live in a minivan or an SUV, traveling around their whole entire life, so their kids can be nothing when they actually get to high school.
I agree with that, but here's on the first part of what you said. The man has a full-time job. The woman has you know why? Because the way that this world is financially with inflation and the economy, you can't afford to have a stay-at-home wife. You have to have dual income. Or you live in a tin can, or a box.
I don't know about
I don't
that.
think so.
I do
I
because I
disagree
got a
with you.
useless
I-
degree.
I
I'll
think
show you my income statements.
First
and then
of all,
my
let me
bills.
get
I have a
Let me-
family of 5 on a not great salary.
Well, that's
Whoa. Whoa.
For the church, it's
Whoa.
really good.
yeah,
But like
compared to
in a
America.
corporate
In a
in a
corporate
corporate
world, it
world,
sucks.
it's not.
yeah. No, I get it.
I have a family of 5, and my wife stays at home with my kids.
Yeah.
A family will spend every dollar that comes to them,
That's right. They will.
no matter how much.
no
it
matter
is.
how much it
That's
is
what
or
he's
how
saying.
little it is.
That's,
remember-
That's
let's-
true.
here,
but
let me
you
help
tell
you.
me that the majority of people, women want to go work. Do you think that the majority of people?
I think a lot of them do.
I think a lot.
Absolutely.
The
Because they've
majority.
been lied to.
I don't know. I couldn't say majority.
I will tell you, the majority of women don't want to work. They have to work because of
Oh, I
their
see what you're
family
saying.
situation.
I don't think it's the majority.
I do.
I really don't.
I don't have any way to prove
I
it.
think
The
we,
good news
here's
is it's
here's
all
the deal.
opinion.
I think
We
it's a
live-
It's definitely a mindset
We
situation.
live beyond our
It
means.
really is.
We spend money we don't
Yes.
have on things we don't need to impress people we don't.
Do you want to
like.
know what's worse? Wait,
I
let me go.
can't say what
Hang
I
Do you know
really
what's
wanna
worse?
say.
Here's the deal. When Austin, you were in
Yes.
my household as a young buck with the
Yes.
other 2 children that your mom and I had, I owned my own business, and I've had it for 28 years. And believe me, we did not make a lot of money. We lived on $30 to $35,000 a year. She did not work. She stayed at home. Does that mean we had everything? No. But we still had 2 cars, and we had a house, and we were scraping by, in many cases, at $35,000 a year. That was 28 years
That's
ago.
a lot of money 25 years
Yeah.
ago.
But it wasn't a lot of money.
I mean, if I told
if you made $50,000 to $60,000, that was where you could actually have nicer things,
Yeah.
nicer cars. But we did not just do everything that a lot of people do now. We don't have everything that we do now because it took years to build up. And that's the problem with America is you got moms and dads that's worked 40 years of their life that have a lot of things from saving up and buying and probably even going into debt.
Yeah.
And the kids come right out of high school or right out of college thinking they're supposed to have everything mom and dad is supposed to have, making the same money that mom and dad makes after 30 years working in the company. And it just doesn't happen that way. And that's part of the
I
problem with
agree
our
with that.
society.
I agree with that, but there's also
Everybody wants to come out of
the
high school and college making $50 an hour.
No, everybody wants to come out of high school and college and not be living at home with mommy and daddy, but because of the way that the economy is and the way that the pay
You
structure
can't blame
is.
the economy for everything.
You can blame
Okay,
interest rates.
Go blame interest rates. You want to buy a house? My house
You're
right
complaining about interest rates. Let me tell you something. 30 years ago, interest rates were 15% on a mortgage, and that was
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
now? Well, I
They're
don't know,
half.
but I wasn't
they're
alive
half now.
They're half, but also things weren't as expensive. A gallon of milk wasn't $6.
Everything
Right.
is relative to the dollar of what it was
Yeah,
back
the
then.
dollar has not increased in value.
If any-
We
Yeah.
make more money today, but the dollar also is not
Well,
worth as much. Back in the
Exactly.
day,
So
you
there's a
didn't make
gap.
as much, but the dollar was
Listen,
also
I put my-
only
I
worth
think
so much.
more.
I think once you start having, and I will say this, once you start having kids, Chelsea and I look back on when we first got married, and we're like, what did we spend all of our money on?
Yeah.
We're like, how did we?
Yeah.
We both
see
had
that.
jobs.
Yeah.
What did we spend? Like, how were we not rich? And now we have 5 kids. My wife stays at home, and we're
You have
still
3
doing
kids, you
good.
silly goose.
Sorry, I meant
There's 5 in the house.
5 in the house.
I'm,
You have another one on the way?
A family of 5.
There you go.
Quite the announcement.
Wow.
Chelsea's pregnant with twins. I'm just kidding. She did have a dream about that. Anyways,
man.
Oh God.
but like we
Yes.
look back and we're like, how are we not rich? What were we actually spending our money on? We were spending our money on going out to eat 4 or 5 times a week.
Yep.
You know, we made adjustments to our lifestyle because of kids. We had to, and we found out, man, this is actually attainable. Now, Chelsea does stuff on the side, and it's great, and that's little extra on top that we can take our kids out and we can do fun stuff with them. But if she didn't have that, we would be fine, and we would live every day. Now, no, I cannot convince you of that until it happens to you.
I understand.
And you think
that.
a lot of people, they don't even want to have kids right now because they want to wait till they
Yeah.
have enough money. And it's like, you're never going to have enough money to have kids. What you do with those children is your choice. You don't have to buy them everything under the sun. It really annoys me when somebody is out there buying their children $100 to $125 pair of shoes when they're 6 months old and
Yeah.
they grow out of them in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It's dumb.
Go to the resale shop. Go to a secondhand store and buy
They're
somebody's
everywhere.
shoes that paid that. That was dumb.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think that was the point I was trying to make, but
We get what you're trying to say. You're,
I'll just tell you,
It
the
is-
world that
it
we
is
live
harder.
in now is way different than Little House on the Prairie days. It's way
Sure.
more complicated than just moms stay at home. if that's your calling, do it. If you can't fulfill that part of your calling at that point in your life, don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to have somebody else raise your kids 8 to 4, guess what? They're still your kids.
I just
Are they better
I just
off?
personally know people that are full-time working,
Mhm.
full-time parents, or full-time mom, and they're making it work. And
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that you have a full-time job, your wife has a full-time job, and you guys cannot make it work. And they're paying off debts. They're working their butts off, and you can't tell me that somebody, like, I have people that I know very close to me that are in this situation where they're living with their mom and dad, and I'm like, you cannot tell me that you guys cannot make this work. I know what you make. Show me your budget.
Right.
Yes.
Show it to me. You just suck at budgeting. Let's fix this.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I agree. That's the majority of the issue.
You don't have
For
to have
sure.
an expensive car. You
You
don't even
don't.
have to have a car payment. You don't have to, and you don't have to do the things that we do, but we want to do them, and it's okay if you want to do them. It's okay if your wife wants to work or the woman wants to work. There's nothing wrong with that as long as that thing doesn't control you.
Well, I think, it depends, like, what your work is. Like, for me, I love my job. And even, like,
good
I
answer.
don't.
Good answer.
Shut up, Eric.
A lot of changes going on
Have
over
a
here.
gun to your
Bruce.
head.
Better like your job.
Even though I don't have children, like, people ask me, like, they really tell me, like, oh, wait until you have kids. You're not going to want to work. I'm like, well, I don't know that yet because I don't have kids. But, like, I would think that I would want to make it work. And I think that in that, there's nothing wrong with that,
Right.
because not because I'm in ministry, but because whatever you do, we talk about this, whatever you do, honor God with it.
Yep.
So if you're going to go to work all day and your kids go to daycare and you come home and pick them up and you only have a couple hours with them, make those hours count.
Yeah.
Honor God by parenting your children when you can.
Yep.
I would agree.
Which is the main reason why we didn't do daycare.
Right.
When we sat down and budgeted, we were like,
Yeah.
that means that she ultimately, after paying for daycare for all of our kids, because it is expensive, she would be taking home $200 extra a month. I can make $200 extra a month just by selling stuff on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like that's not. And then I get my wife home with my kids all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to have to
like,
bring my kids to the church.
Yeah.
I can't afford daycare. We're going to have a daycare by then, hopefully.
Hey, hopefully
whoa,
we'll have
whoa.
a school and a daycare by then.
I'm just going to put them in the back with a camera.
I was going to say something else when we were talking, dang it. It
In
was
the back
something
with a
about
camera.
our work. It was about the home. It was about all that stuff. And now I can't remember what the heck it was. It was really good, too. It was
Are
a
you trying
really
to
good
tell me
thing.
I'm not allowed to work here after I have kids because I have to be a stay-at-home mom?
Not at all.
I hope not.
No.
So I can't put my kids in the back.
Yeah, if you want.
We'll figure it out.
Put them in the playpen.
figure it out.
I mean,
says
you
we'll
you
figure
know,
it
the
out.
people out there that they don't know, us pastors, we only work on Sunday anyway.
Oh, yeah, you're never here.
Forgot about
That's
that.
I had a guy tell me that the other day in the parking lot. He's like, "So you're going to work right now?" I'm like, "He's like, so you just like, what do you do?" I'm like, "You
What do you
freaking
do?"
guy."
If
just
they
make you
only
wanna-
I
knew.
wish we only
If
worked on
you
Sunday.
only
I want to
knew.
throw hands.
We sit around and talk on a podcast
Yeah.
all day. That's
No,
what we do.
We only
And
do
if
this
people
once a
only
week.
knew.
Oh,
Listen,
gosh.
I want to make it very clear.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with a woman working in the workforce. There's really not. I think Harrison Butker. Oh, I know what I was going to think. I think he was just trying to, like what Austin was saying earlier, he's just trying to say for those ladies that would like to stay at home and do stay at home, your value is worth a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse. I remember whenever my wife and I would fill out applications for like loans or whatnot, they would be what her title or her job is, and we would always put homemaker. And there were times that people kind of just looked at us kind of funny with that, and we're like, but this is what we wanted.
Right.
This is the life that we chose. The other thing that Harrison Butker talked about that I actually I agree with, this is just me. Again, I'm not against it necessarily, but he also is against IVF, any kind of fertility as well.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way, and the only reason why I feel the same way is because I do think there is a fine line of us playing God. And I hear a lot of people, then they go, well, what about medicines and what about this? Yeah, but I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm not trying to create another life. And I just look at it like this. It's just my opinion. I don't think I've not found anything biblical on this in this area, but here's what I would say. I believe that if God wants you to have a child, you're going to have a child. And if you're not if you have a miscarriage right now, this could be God's way of saying, now's not the time. I'm trying to protect you from something. Maybe your baby's going to be born with a deficiency or a defect of some sort where you're going to have all these struggles and cost thousands and thousands of dollars. We don't really know. I don't know. But for me, if you're not supposed to have a child, there's probably a reason why you're not supposed to have a child. And when you take every measure you can to have a child that is not natural, I struggle with that.
Did he say that in his speech?
Yeah, he said he doesn't agree with IVF or anything.
Did he say IVF and I'm sorry, what's the other one? It's IVF and
I already deleted out of the thing, but
there's two different types of like basically like implantation
see if it
methods. So like, what is your opinion? Just because we're all here, what is your opinion on like the medication that helps women to like ovulate? Like, do you think a medication is wrong that helps to regulate their bodies?
I don't know. I've not heard of it, so I couldn't really speak to that.
It's
I'm
like
not,
birth control.
I'm not totally.
in a way.
It's like I'm not against birth control necessarily. I'm not against,
Well, I mean, that's playing God.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
that's
Silence for a moment.
That is restricting it's a
Restricting the flow.
restricting the flow. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's IUI.
IUI.
Yeah, IVF and IUI. So IVF is where like they take the like sperm.
Just for the record,
ovary.
before you go there, Aaron did birth control in the very beginning, and then she didn't like it, and we did the Catholic birth control, which is natural.
Natural.
So we
family
weren't
planning.
playing God; we were just being careful.
Like cycle tracking.
Absolutely, and it's dead on. I'll just tell you right now, it's dead on, literally dead on. As a matter of fact, it was. Even when we knew it was time, we said, "Okay, we want to have a child." Within those 2 weeks, boom, she's pregnant within no time.
Well, here's the deal: my last two kids, we were trying every form of birth control, and we had both of them.
Evidently,
They were both surprises.
Evidently,
God
you were
wanted you
supposed
to
to have
have
them.
We were supposed to have them for
That's what
sure.
I'm saying. That's what.
won't.
Hey, listen to this. Okay, you guys know that, and I'm not saying names, but there was a gentleman that this is why I believe this.
Snap.
I just believe, just like for you. Yeah, I mean, I got snipped too. I think that's wisdom. I don't need 14 little kids running around. But like you tried everything you could for birth control, but you still had children.
Yep.
Okay, I believe God wanted you to have those children, even though you didn't think you wanted them at the time. Just like this one guy, very young, they never do a vasectomy on a guy that's under 25 years old. I had to practically begged them to do mine because I had already had 3 kids at 25.
Please stop.
And they're like, "Are you sure you're finished?" Because a lot of people want to have children later on in life. I said, "Trust me, we're finished. We don't want any more children." But this young man he was like 21. He did not want to have kids. He had a vasectomy. And the girl that he was dating, supposed to get married to, he did it without her knowing, because she wanted to have kids.
Oh, boy.
So they split up. She breaks up with him. He starts dating another girl, and guess what? She got pregnant.
What?
From him.
What?
They have a kid.
Are you talking about a
Yeah,
real
that
life
happens.
couple?
That happens.
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying who. Somebody
Those-
we probably know.
I know,
You
yeah.
probably know him.
Those
I don't want to
tubes-
make names
those
because I don't want to
tubes,
make it
crazy.
awkward.
can
It's
refuse
crazy.
and create.
But
new
that's what
paths
I'm
and-
getting at. He did everything he could not to have a child because he didn't want him, and guess what?
Yep.
He had a child.
God
Now
had
he
other
loves him.
plans.
I just think I just believe in a real, I believe in, and yes, we could go all day long about, well, that's playing God, and if you're doing birth control, that's playing God, and I get all that. I understand it. I just think there's a line for me. And I had somebody else do the same thing to me. I mean, we got into a heated argument.
I think where I
about
draw the
this.
line is lab-created meat.
Yeah.
Okay, IVF is kind of like lab created human.
I know, but
You like mix them in a petri dish.
See, I'm kind of ignorant of the IVF stuff. I would need to look into it more, but I
Well,
can
we
see
have
where-
an expert in the room.
I am an IVF byproduct.
She is.
She was born
I'm a
because of it.
lab grown petri dish baby.
Wow.
People used to call me Petrie in high school.
That's awful.
Terrible. Isn't that terrible?
Petri.
Like Petrie.
Like off a land before time?
I don't know. I just
I don't know how I feel about it, and I'm a product of it. So I've thought
Yeah.
about that a lot. Like,
it's here's the thing.
I don't know. I can't decide.
I want to make this very clear because people need to understand this. I'm not upset or I think somebody's necessarily wrong for doing
Sure.
it. Okay. I'm saying my wife and I personally do not do that because of our view in this area. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like, oh, I just absolutely think it's wrong and you're ungodly because you're doing it, blah, blah. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I just got to wonder why you're either still having kids, Eric, when you shouldn't be, or why you're not having kids when you want them. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. I would
There's a
agree.
reason for.
I would agree 100%. And, you know, there's a lot that comes along with that. There's struggles that you could have later down in life.
And let's go a step further with this. Let's take this one step further.
I'm scared.
Let's say that you're not even trying for kids, but you're just out there having sex because it's fun and it's, you know, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden you get pregnant. And then you make the comment, well, if it wasn't in God's plan, it wouldn't have happened. I disagree with that.
That I disagree with, too.
That I disagree with.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because, see, God created male and female to work a certain way with the reproductive system.
And your choice.
God knew that would happen. So ultimately, yes, it was in the sovereign will of God, but I don't think, I know for a fact it wasn't necessarily God's will for you to be out of God's will, having sex before you're married, having kids.
It's literally, here's what it is. It's cause and, here's what it is. It's cause and effect.
Yeah.
That is
I
cause
agree.
and effect. You do an action and there is a effect to that action. And it just so happens that the scientific effect is possibly a baby. Another one is an STD or an STI. If you're out there having sex with a bunch of people, it's not God's plan for your life to have an STI that maybe would preclude you from having kids. But guess what? It's an effect. It's a consequence of your action.
I agree.
And so when it's over spiritualizing. It's over spiritualizing.
I know people that say that. Oh, that must have been in God's plan.
Well,
some say where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. That's true. Now,
Sorry.
now, will God use that situation? Can He use it for good? Of course.
Yes,
we know that to be true.
Yes, Austin, you're a product of that.
I know. That's right. I'm not an IVF baby, but I am
Y'all
a.
both sitting here.
You are a bastard.
I
At
am.
least my parents were married.
Yeah,
sucker.
exactly. At least your parents were doing it the right way. It's okay, guys. I know.
Free falling.
Oh,
I love
Lord
it.
Jesus.
I love it.
Help us all.
We have a lot of bastards in our family.
No. This is all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end the podcast
That is the
for
definition
today.
of the word. That is the definition of the
All
word.
right, we'll see. I'm just kidding.
I was like, wow, Eric.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Austin, you're a nut.
If you guys only knew what really went on over here. I know some of you out there are like, and this is a pastor and his posse. Yes. It just goes to show you how jacked up we really are.
We're real people.
But we're having fun, and that's what matters. We're having fun. We're talking about real life stuff, and we have opinions just like you do. And they have, they stink just like everybody else's butt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Do we have anything else? Because
Yes.
Okay.
You do?
I do. I saw this on Instagram today. It is it's a girl from St. Louis. She's running for Missouri Secretary of State. Her name is Valentina Gomez. She's a 24-year-old real estate investor. And she released this campaign video, which is terrible. And she's running through the streets in this like tactical vest. Like a bulletproof vest is what somebody said. I don't know if that's true or not. But she said, in America, you can be anything you want. So don't be weak and gay. And then she says, stay effing, like F word, hard. And I'm like, what in the world did I just watch? Like, she's like legitimately running.
What's her first name?
Valentina Gomez.
She's running through the streets of Soulard in St. Louis.
Here's what I have to say to that.
It's so terrible.
She's running
I
for the
see her.
Secretary of State position. I say, SOS, send us somebody else.
Okay.
Golly.
Isn't that not terrible? Because we were talking a couple weeks ago about whether you're Democrat, Republican, what it comes down to is someone who represents your values.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ma'am, that ain't it.
She's 25 years old.
Yes. Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
I'm like, what do you think that this is going to get you?
She has a scripture, Proverbs 29:2 on her website. On the Valentina Gomez, Missouri Secretary of State. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And she said the F word?
Apparently, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't listen. I listened to it in the video I saw this morning. Like, you couldn't really hear her. So at first I thought she was misquoted, like they chose to.
Yeah.
Right.
But I couldn't find a copy of the video that you can hear it really clear.
Wow.
Is that not terrible?
Yeah, I think she's.
I don't know anything about her, but I'm going to find out. Now,
think-
I mean, look, I love her page. I'm looking at her stuff that her mission and what she stands for, and I love it. Abolish voting machines. I'm all for that. Protecting Missouri's economy, modernize infrastructure, transparent governance, financial accountability. No,
I'm just kidding.
Financial accountability, library accountability, Valentina's promise to Missouri's farmers and ranchers, bulletproofing freedom, securing our Second Amendment, rejecting mandates, supporting law enforcement, back the blue, protecting children against a transgender agenda. There's only, agenda. The transgender agenda. Protecting sports. There's only two genders. Protecting parents. I mean, exterminating human trafficking. These are all things she stands for.
Yeah, but the way that you do it is so poor.
I agree. I
Like,
haven't seen it, so I don't know.
You have lost all credibility because that video was stupid and it looked like a 12-year-old filmed you running through the streets.
That's
She
what we call
probably
young
just
and
doesn't
dumb.
Have a,
Young and dumb.
Maybe she don't have a lot of money to
She
do
lost validity. Okay,
Well,
you
with
did not
inflation-
have to
it.
say
Here it is
the
right
F
here. I'm going to
word.
watch it right now. It says, don't be, let's see. Let's look. You guys keep talking. Let me read this.
It doesn't really,
Figure it out.
either way, it doesn't matter what she stands for. She's lost credibility and validity in how she chose to represent herself.
She does say the F word.
Wow.
In America, you can be anything you want, so don't be weak and gay. Stay effing hard, Gomez instructs viewers in the video,
Oh my God.
delivering one of the most
No.
unintentional homoerotic.
Homoerotic?
Yeah,
Not homoerotic. That's something else.
No, it says homoerotic lines of the 21st
Homoerotic?
century.
I don't see it that being homoerotic. I think it homophobic.
This is taking a turn.
I don't
Thanks, Becca.
understand. Why would a Christian...
I can't.
That's
I mean,
what
if
I'm
she's claiming
saying.
to be a Christian, maybe she's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
She's a poor representation then, because to conduct yourself that way
She's
is
probably to
so
stay relevant.
Listen,
You know,
okay,
how
Joe
many
Biden's
pastors
also
do
a
we know?
Christian.
exactly.
How many pastors do we know? This thing's in my way.
No, I got you. I can
How
see
many
your left
How many
eye.
pastors do we know that are out there that cuss to try to be relevant?
yeah, there's a few.
There's a
Oh.
few.
There,
Really?
I mean, there's
Yeah.
I
a
don't think
there's a
I've seen
cussing
that.
pastor somewhere all over the
Yeah,
internet.
there is a few.
Says the
for
F
sure.
bomb, which I think is a joke.
Yeah,
That's so
they take
dumb.
that thing in scripture where it says Paul cussed one time.
Yeah,
and
that's
they,
exactly what he did.
and
And
they-
he said,
and he didn't.
What did he say?
He said something. It was in like.
It was
2
rubbish.
Corinthians. Yeah.
The word was rubbish.
Rubbish.
Eric is
He was,
censoring us.
the Hebrew or Greek word. It's not even the right context. It's funny.
But back in those days, the word rubbish was considered a cuss word, which, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. It shouldn't be talking bad.
yeah, just
Well, it reminds me of Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump stands for a lot of great like values and as far as like running this country, but because he can't get over himself on social media,
We should call Brian Nieves right now, live, see if we can get him on the phone and ask him if he knows anything about this Gomez chick.
he probably, I bet he does.
I don't know.
She related to Selena.
I
would explain
when
a lot.
When I actually
I
Googled
didn't think
Gomez,
so.
Selena came up. That's why I was
Oh my
confused.
gosh,
I think it's her
guys,
sister.
It's probably a very common last name.
It's a very common.
It's common
It's
today
like
in
Smith.
Americas because we got millions of illegals
okay,
over here.
okay. Here we go.
It's going. And we have plenty of legals who also have that last name.
Yes.
I'm sure we have a few, but think of the millions that are here illegal.
think we
Let's
are-
talk about
That's
that
true.
for a
We are
minute.
falling. This is free falling for sure.
Our borders have fallen.
We're spiraling.
Trump is vowing to deport 40 million illegal aliens in America
mean,
if
I'm
he
not
becomes
mad.
president. Are you for it or against it,
I'm for it.
I'm for it.
Eric? All right, he's for it. All of us are for it. I say this, you are welcome to America if you go through the right process, and I know it's hard sometimes and rigorous.
yeah.
I was going
I
to say
think-
invigorating, but it's not invigorating.
not
I'm
invigorating.
for it.
Rigorous.
I'm for it with reform to the system.
Yes.
Yeah.
But instead of being like, instead of wasting
The
our
system
efforts
sucks.
rioting, saying it's okay to enter this country legally, we should be rioting and supporting reform.
Yeah.
We're doing the wrong things. We're redirecting our efforts the wrong way.
Yeah. And they're creating the issues.
Man, I'm so glad we are all so smart. We just saved all of America today.
I mean,
All of
if
America.
only
We
we
should
could
play
do
God
And
Bless
Central
America.
and Central
We
America.
should be playing God Bless America right now.
Oh wait, I
Where's
got-
Lee
I got
Greenwood? We
something.
need Lee
I
Greenwood.
got
Oh,
something
Lord.
here. I can
Lee
pull something
Greenwood.
up.
That
Oh wait, no, that's the president. Sorry.
is there,
Oh,
there's no Lee Greenwood.
And the Girl Scouts of America hopefully will start building campfires.
Oh, yeah, no. They're now just scouts.
Listen, I always wanted to be in the Girl Scouts because
I'm just trying to
cookies.
think if we
Cookies,
helped anybody today on this podcast.
I think.
I think for the women empowerment to being a homemaker.
Yeah. I think.
If you're at home, you're awesome. And if you're in the workplace, you're also awesome, depending where your workplace is, I guess.
Well, is that Lee Greenwood?
No, I can pull it up.
Well, I thought you
Yeah.
were waiting on me.
No.
Okay, well, we can end the show. It's all good. Let's see what time is it.
Oh, the clock works.
This thing, you got to move
It's
the
like
whole
military
mic.
time now.
You got to move the whole
I
mic.
can't tell what's happening.
Oh, yeah, 1,300 hours.
I don't know why that's funny. See you guys.
It's been fun.
Guys, it's been free falling right here on the Unfiltered podcast. We love you guys. We have a lot of fun. I hope you love us. Have grace for us. We'll see you next week. Peace.